Hello, everyone. I'd like to start with a shout out to Mora Cheli Weiss. Mora Cheli who had me come into her classroom today and teach about the first four nations who Amos spoke out against and how it creates what's called a geographical chiasm, a chaotic structure based on the writings of Rabbi Tawil from Yeshiva University. And now I'm just going to go over it so that you can see really well with the map and the ruler how it works. So if you remember, there were four nations here. Al Shosha Pishei Damascus. The first one is Damascus, who's attacked and punished in the Nevuah of Amos. The second one is Aza, who's punished. The third one is Sor, which is Tyre. And the fourth one is Edom, which is also here Botzra, which is the capital of Edom. And of course, the question is why these four. Obviously, there are three more nations mentioned afterwards. Actually, four more nations, if you count Yisrael, and that won't be dealt with in this brief lesson. So why did Amos speak out against these four nations when really Amos was a prophet, Asher Chazah al Yisrael, who is a prophet towards Israel? He's not really speaking to any of these four countries. So the way to answer this question, Rabbi Tawil says, is to look at a map and see where these four nations are located. So if you take a look, and here is our little Google Maps, and all the places here are places that are actually mentioned in Amos. So for example, you'll see Damascus is in chapter 1 twice mentioned. He's also mentioned in chapter 5. And so he started with Damascus, and the second Nevuah then went to Gaza, which is also mentioned in Pasuk Vav and Pasuk Zayin. And then he had the Nevuah on Sur, on Tyre, in Tet and Yud, and finally he had the Nevuah on Botzra, on Edom, which is mentioned in Amos Pasuk Vav and Amos Pasuk Tet, as well as Yud Aleph. Okay, so let's measure the distance between these points on the map. And you're going to notice in a moment what we mean by a geographical chi. So here's my little measuring thing. We're going to make it a little bit smaller so that it doesn't take up the whole thing. And we'll put it right up there. And we're going to start here from Damascus, right? That's our first point. And we're going to measure all the way to Aza. And that's our first point. Now you'll see that the measurement is 282.37 kilometers across. Okay? So that's our first point. Now, let me just write that down so that we can make sure that we know that. 282.37 kilometers. 282. I know I'm not writing so cleanly, but 282.37. Now going back again, we can measure our next 2 points. But we'll save that one. Okay? And here we go. Now, let's measure our next 2 points. And we have another line that we're creating, and we're going to make it small over here, and move it up. And now we're going from Tyre, from Sur, to Bosra, to Edom. And once again, now we have 282.53 kilometers, and we're going to save that one as well. And now we have our geographical chi, and just with 282.53 kilometers. So what you have here, just to go back again, and to see how unbelievably close to a chi it truly is. So you have four places, and they spell the modern letter X, the Greek letter chi, the chiastic structure. This is the geographical chiastic structure. The first one starting in Damascus and going 283.37 kilometers to Ashkelon. The second one starting in Sur and going 283.53 kilometers to Botzra. And not only is it an X and is it a chi, but you see how both distances are within 0.2 of a kilometer. They are 200 meters within this line and this line. They are almost exactly the same length to make a perfect chi. And in class, you're going to have to see why is Amos drawing this chi, this mark. What is the significance for Yisrael?